Hello everyone, I'm JaVonni Brustow of Popglitz.com, and I'm here with my co-host Anthony Smith of Urban Uncut magazine, and this is the first episode of The Cut. Anthony, are you excited?
Hello everybody, how are you? I'm back. I've been
happy to have you back. It's been quite some time.
It has been. And, you know, I feel like I've been summoned from the grave. They've wiped the dust off my casket, and they said, we need you, come back. And the search party found me. So I'm excited to be a part of The Cut and looking forward to the great journey that is ahead.
Likewise. I mean, there's trouble to be caused. Again, I've been wondering where you were, and I said, let me try and dig this man up, and luckily I got a response, and I was not expecting to be recording a show just a couple days later.
Right.
It's funny how that works out.
I got 9 lives. No. So it's definitely, like I said again, it's great to be a part of the journey that we're going to take with this, and it's extremely exciting, and thank you.
I want to try and keep you out of the grave this time. You said 9 lives, but you know, let's try and hold off on entering the next one.
Right.
You know, for a little bit. Please.
Exactly.
And guys, we're going to catch up with him a little bit later as far as to see what Anthony's doing. We've got an interview with him about halfway through the show. And just jumping right in, this week on Fox News' morning show, Fox and Friends, when asked about Congresswoman Maxine Waters, her latest remarks about the president, Bill O'Reilly responded saying, I couldn't hear anything she said because I couldn't see past that James Brown wig on her head. So for the entire week, we've heard about how racist and condescending what he said was. And as far as I'm concerned, for a woman that's made about 40 insults towards the president and Republicans, to get one in response, hey, deal with it. It's not that serious. And by the way, that wig does actually look like something James Brown would wear on his head. I'm from his hometown, so I would know. So I think I can get away with saying that. Anthony, what did you think?
Well, the whole James Brown wig thing has me completely laughing. I thought it was funny. I thought it was hilarious. She does take a lot of jabs at President Trump. But, however, you know, I want to say this, and I don't want to step on anybody's toes when I say it, but I'm known for my mouth not having a filter. Stop the racist crap. Put the damn racist card back in your desk drawer, cover it up, and don't pull it out. This is clearly just him throwing jabs at the wig. Maybe it's time that she upgrades the wig and, you know, shift it to the left and do something different. So, you know, I don't feel offended. On TV talking about I'm offended. Stop it. Like, just stop. Like, she is always talking some type of craziness and mess and everything. So, it's one little jab at her. Deal with it. Move on. Sit down and have a drink and call it a day.
Like, she's a troll. Like, she literally sits on Twitter and tells the president, get ready to be impeached. I mean, and for all the times that she said it, like, she hasn't given any reason for it anyway. So, whatever. You know, so the guy takes a jab at her wig. I mean, hey, it's partially true. And anyone who's ever watched Fox and Friends, they make it's a lighthearted show, even though they do news, they crack these types of jokes. I mean, this morning, I didn't know what I was looking at when I saw them. I didn't realize it was news. Like, they were playing April Fool's jokes on each other. Someone's office was covered in, like, 2,000 Post-its. They sent an Uber after someone where the driver was wearing a chicken suit and didn't speak, and they put Tabasco sauce in each other's coffee. So a little comment like that is kind of on par. It is what it is. And look, there were, and I meant to send this to you earlier, again, We've been through this. The press secretary this week was also accused of being racist, whereby he had asked a black reporter, April Ryan, to stop shaking her head. And she went on to the Washington Post and said that the press is under attack. When he went through it a couple times, he continued speaking to her, and he said, April, again, please stop shaking your head. I don't know how bad or offensive that could possibly be. I thought it was childish. Like, I'm not a big fan of Sean Spicer's. He's just very temperamental, and I don't see how we can have a temperamental president and temperamental press secretary, but whatever, he's here already. But it upset a lot of people. Like, people were saying about how racist that the administration was to have these types of events happen. But, like, the guy takes everything to heart. So just the fact that she was shaking her head was, enough to bother him. Like, he couldn't finish his statement. But again, press secretary asking a black reporter to quit shaking her head, is that racist? Is there any racism in there that you can, or misogyny?
I won't say that it's racist.
What do you think? You think they're going a little too far with that one?
I think they are going a little bit too far with. I think they are going a little. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I think that they are going a little bit too far with it. I believe that, again, this racism thing needs to stay in our desk drawer. There's going to be times when we really need to pull it out. There's going to be times when we really need to say, okay, that was clearly flat out racist. And there has been times when I could say, okay, let's pull the race card out because that was completely uncalled for. But in this situation, the reporter shaking her head. This guy, Sean Spicer, was plain out rude. He shouldn't have even bothered to worry about what that reporter was doing. If she wasn't yelling,
Because it was stupid. I mean, like, this is what he does.
Yeah. Like, he needs to just be focused on what you are there in the White House to do and not worried about if someone's shaking their head or not. And I mean, get over yourself and stop being a little 5-year-old and be your age. Act 45 for crying out loud.
And as I said, yes, and as I said, she said that the press was under attack by this administration. And as I told you before, go to countries like Azerbaijan, where if you speak out against the government, they beat the shit out of you. That's what they do to the press until you submit and offer a retraction. This is hardly an attack. Go to China and go tweet something about your leader, and you're in jail. I mean, let's tone it down. Yeah, I mean, most people are on your side anyway because the ordeal itself was stupid. I mean, this is a man who his first press conference in his new role was to order all the press in a room, make them all sit there and listen to him yell at them and browbeat them about crowd size, inaugural crowd size, took no questions, allowed no one to speak, and then walked on. So to say that it's shocking that he would ask someone to stop shaking their head, probably not. But and moving on, this week a Drexel University professor witnessed someone get up on a plane and offer their first-class seat to a military vet. And he tweeted about how disgusted he felt by it and wanted to vomit. Here's the thing. Whether we agree with the mission or not that the military is doing, that's up for discussion, and that's fine. But you're supposed to support our military. These people fight on the battlegrounds to make sure that any of us are not able, we are not forced to go outside and like possibly have our heads chopped off, or women are able to drive without being killed. And at the end of the day, like the plane that he was on, if it weren't for that military vet that was on the plane, it could have possibly fallen out of the damn sky. So I really don't like hearing people speak down to our military. This is I grew up around statements like that. I thought they were disgusting then. I find them disgusting now. What do you think about that?
I think that this professor, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there such thing called a muzzle where they put it around your mouth and then tie it to the back of your head so you can't talk? If there is, I think that he needs one. I think that he needs to be muzzled, or there needs to be some duct tape around his mouth, and he can't speak, because this guy has made a lot of comments in, you know, the future, in the past, and he's just a mess. Now, going to what he stated about this uniformed soldier, that someone graciously gave their seat up for him to have, and it's kind of stating what you just said. These men and women are defending our country every day. They're here in the U.S. defending our country, and they're in other countries defending us. And we should always have the utmost respect for these individuals, regardless of the situation. So for this dummy to say that he wanted to vomit because someone showed kindness to someone who fought for our lives, for us to have our freedom every day. I mean, thank God I'm not walking outside and the bomb's going to drop on my damn head, for crying out loud. I mean, these people, they took that vow to go and defend us no matter what. And for him to say that, it's just absolutely disgusting. I'm disgusted. And you know what? I always say, put him in these soldiers' shoes. Put him over there in the barricades. Put him over there walking through the minefields and trying to find mines to keep the soldiers from getting, you know, hurt or killed, for that matter. And then have him come back and let's sit him on someone's couch and interview him and ask him how he feels then. And then probably then he would understand why that individual on the plane did it. And that's what I have to say to that. But if there's a muzzle, we need to get him one and send it to him. So, put it on.
But notice he tweeted that. So when you said for him to put himself in the shoes as him, as the military vet, he had the opportunity to. He was on the same plane as them both. All he had to do was get up and say something to him, and he could have gotten up and walked up to them both and said, what you were doing is disgusting. But notice he didn't do that. That's what you call a keyboard thug.
Right.
So, and this is not the first time that he's made a statement like that. He was also known as defending or advocating for white genocide in the past. And as I recall, I think he's white himself, so that's, yeah, don't quite get that one. You're advocating for genocide of your own race, sir. So anyone who could do that isn't all that bright themselves. And anyway, Drexel University supported him the first time around when he made his white genocide comments. They said that his comments were in jest and satirical. And they supported him again here and said that it was a satirical comment. I mean, at some point in time, you got to show people a lesson. I'm sure there are plenty of people who'd rather take his place. I don't find him relevant. He keeps making news over tweets. You know, whatever. I hope the next time he does something stupid, we don't have to read about it. Or if we do, that he'll be without a job. So that's where I'm going to leave that at. And next up, for those who don't know, Katy Perry is the daughter of two pastors, and I can admit I may not be a pastor's kid, but I do know growing up in Hyper-Violent church can be quite stressful. And she talks about her attempts at praying the gay away at quote-unquote Jesus camps, something that I don't want to relive or think about, but yeah, I've been there in the past. But look, as for parents who have issues with their children being gay, all you can do is tell them how you feel about it, what you want and do not want in your house, and just ask them not to do anything extreme while living with you. Similarly, I ask kids to wait until they move on their own before they decide to start pulling rank because, hey, the last thing you want to do is set yourself up and find your ass on the curb because you wanted to come home in heels or ladies shaving your head. You want to make those decisions. Not that I'm advocating for anyone to stay in the closet, but I think that it's best as far as looking out for your own safety, protection, and your own future. Just wait until you're able to make all your decisions on your own and no one can snatch the rug from under you. So what do you think about this revelation of Miss Perry praying the gay away? For someone so liberated, it's hard to imagine that that was ever something that she's done before.
I would say, as I would say to my friends, Miss Boo Boo Kitty, sit down. You can't pray the gay away. You have to live in it. You have to be who you are and not try to paint or, undo who you are. You have to live in it. You have to be gay. That's what you are. That's how you are. That's how you were born. And there's no change in it. And stop all the foolishness, And, for example, I have some family members who are old school, so they make the little comments in the background. They don't think that I hear them. But when I do, that's when I come snatch them. And then they don't like it. And they were like, ooh, that hurt. And I'm like, you know what? You don't start a fire if you don't have something to put it out, because I'm going to make the fire go poof when I come back for you. So, this peace stuff has to
You brought it on yourself.
Right. Let me tell you something, and I have some words. I can be cutthroat when I speak to someone, especially when it's something that offended me. I will come back for you, and I will talk about you in a way that you've never been talked about before, and you will sit there and be like, oh, I really didn't know that. So, but is it something I always do? No. Is it something that I should always aim to do at someone? No. Sometimes I just ignore it and keep it moving. Sometimes the best way to win an argument or a fight is to ignore it and keep going, because it aggravates the person even more. The gay thing, we have to stop this. We have gone through and have come from so much in this community of gay men and women with the recent things that happened in Orlando when all those individuals lost their lives, with now us being able to legally marry, and now we can be noticed as a legal marriage in the court system, and we don't have to have a joint account that says what's the word that they use for us? There's a word, it's on the tip of my tongue. But for those that are listening, you know what I'm talking about. It's no longer that. This is my husband, this is my wife, and you have to honor it or else. But
right.
You can't pray the gay away. You can't. It's there. No matter how much.
Have you ever tried?
Look, let me tell you, I have tried. I thought that.
Have you tried?
I brought 100 bottles of holy oil and poured it in my tub and laid in it, and I wanted to be completely cleansed of this disease that they call being gay, and it did nothing. I woke up the next day and was like, ooh, he looked good. So it does not go away. No matter what. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays there. It is a part of who I am, and I am gay, and I love it, and I am proud. And if you don't like it, oh well, sorry that you didn't get touched with the magic of being gay. I think being gay is a beautiful thing, and I live my gay every day.
How old were you when you did that? Those oil bottles.
I must have been like 21, 22, and I was kind of still kind of hiding in the closet.
Okay, I'll give you a pass at that age.
Let me tell you something that's really funny. I recall I thought that, coming from a small little country town like I did, I didn't know what gay was outside of being in that country town. So when I moved out of this little small town into South Florida, Miami, it was a whole culture shock for me. I was like, oh wow, what is this? They come in different flavors. You know what I mean? So I was just like, wow. But I didn't know anything about style then, so I formed this whole look, and I wanted to be the thug. So I wanted to have the do-rag, the hat to the side, and the baggy pants, and the big shirts. I didn't know any better. And now that I look at some pictures from back then, I'm like, what the hell was I thinking? Like, wow. But I was trying to be on the...
Don't we all, when we go look back at those old ones? Well, yours was the thug. You know, 21, I think I had a perm and like 5 different shades of brown and blonde highlights. And those pictures will never be surfaced again. I promise you that. But look, as far as the whole praying to get away thing, go ahead.
I mean, just praying to get away, it doesn't work. That's all I have to say to it. Like, stop the foolishness.
Before we move on, the funny thing about it was that I mean, I like growing up, like it was understood or people knew that I was, but to this day, as gay as I am, I've never actually done like a formal coming out because like it's always been me, and I just never really felt like the need to be the card-carrying, flag-waving, Chick-fil-A burning gay. It was just never my thing. But again, as I said, I was a choir director. It was always this case of is he not? On my 18th birthday, I had a 2-hour speech I had to listen to about it. I was taken for like a whole year to see different therapists, including the top conversion therapist in the country, Richard Cohen, who shortly after we met had a nervous breakdown. I try to not take that personally, but that timeline is a little hurtful when I think about it. But, I mean, I had, and as I said, I never really did a formal coming out, but they were trying to force it out, which is a little bit opposite of this. Like, I actually was trying to, you know, do what was supposedly seen as the right thing of what she was doing, you know, trying to maybe not necessarily pray it away, but, you know, keep it to myself. But, I mean, I had a whole story of, you know, I was doing gospel concert production at the time. I was voted out of a team that I created. So after going through all of that and moving out on my own early as a teenager and being harassed where people were trying to get me to admit to something, you know, like I committed a crime, you know, I've learned to live in my truth since then. And yeah, I've kind of left that the gay praying alone. And unfortunately, I never tried that 100 bottles of oil thing that you did. I mean, I feel like, you know, that might do wonders for the skin, but that's probably the only thing I'll do that for. So look, I told you we were going to do an interview of Anthony here, our co-host. Singer, writer, and producer, and father now, I hear, who I had the pleasure of working with in the past. You took a couple years off from the industry. Tell us what you've been up to.
Well, I've been up to a lot. Thank you again for summoning me from the grave. You took me out of my grave and put me here today working, co-hosting with you on the Cut. It's been a journey for me this last few years. I kind of took a break after my last interview with reggae dance hall artist Lady Saw with my magazine that I co-own, UrbanUncutMagazine.com. After that interview, it was a phenomenal interview. She's a phenomenal artist. She sung literally every song that she has recorded in her entire career. Invited me to dinner afterwards. It was an amazing interview that lasted 2.5 hours. So
nice.
And after that, I kind of put the pen down. I put the final release of the magazine out, and didn't look back for a while, and it's been it's not been like I'm completely gone from the media, but I know in that process when I took that break, I was still working in the behind the scenes and still working on certain projects. And in that time, I launched Tony'sCloset.com, which is my online custom accessories and some custom clothing designs that I made. Thanks to Thomas Gaddis for helping me bring my vision to life. And, of course, again, I took co-ownership in Urban Uncut magazine. But I wanted to be a dad. I've always wanted to be a father.
You come pretty far from the guy without style to having a fashion boutique, right?
Right.
You probably wouldn't have thought about that back then.
Well, let me tell you something, and I credit this to my good friend and sister from another mister, Lisa Lee. I met her in 2004, and you know how I always say, like, every gay man needs a good-looking woman on his shoulder. And she met me, and she was like, what are you doing? Like, what is this? What is this do-rag? What is this hat? Keep this down. So she took me out.
She was your Karen Walker. What's this? Tell me what's going on. What's this? What's happening?
Right. We did a complete makeover and new wardrobe renewal in one weekend. And since then, I found myself. I found who I was. I found my identity. And I just started creating my own style, and I took a great interest in fashion, and I wanted, certain type of accessories and shoes, and now, in my age, in my, years have passed, I have and I hate to admit this, a big addiction to shoes. I have hundreds of shoes and several bottles of cologne. I'm addicted to cologne. I have so much cologne that I need to actually have.
There's worse addictions.
Yes, addiction. It is.
I was actually wondering where that was going.
But that's a whole nother interview about that. But I think that I wanted to really just give people my love and my sense and my passion for fashion and style. I wanted them to be able to see what's in my closet and what I think is what's hip, what man should be wearing, and what shoes and what accessories they should have, right down to even their cell phone and the cell phone cases. So I sat down one night and I was like, I'm gonna create something that is going to allow people to feel that they're shopping in my personal closet, and that's how I created Tony's Closet. So it's been good. It's been a little
okay. I mean, and you're the shoe junkie, and apparently sounds like you got a little shoe hookup. So 10 and a half. You happen to find anything? I trust your judgment. And look, so you've got a child.
I do.
And look, I have to say this. We have a little bit of a delay, and it's kind of like tugging at my nerves. So sorry. That's if I sound a little funny. So look, the child that you have. You want to tell us about that, the process that you went through, and all that?
Yes. So in my life of being a single man and just enjoying life and vacation and going everywhere, I kind of set myself down. I said, you know what, I want to have a family and I want kids. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, and I've had them for the weekend, and they've driven me completely crazy. I send them back to their parents, and then it's just me and my dog. And I was like, you know what, I need more than just a dog. I need, that feeling and that unconditional love that you receive from a child. So I ventured into the adoption process here in Atlanta, and it takes about a year and a half, and I would tell anyone, you definitely have to have the strength to go through the process. It is not easy. It's a lot of paperwork, a lot of challenges that you have to deal with. But in the long run, you eventually end up matching with a child, and it is one of the greatest feelings, one of the greatest emotions. It's truly a blessing. So I am a dad. I've been a dad now for 9 months, and it's definitely a true blessing. My son actually looks like me. It's funny. He looks like me. Wow. But we'll talk about that too.
Wow.
There was one of them nights that I might have been somewhere in Atlanta drunk. And just didn't know until now. But it's
DNA test. Well, look, you weren't doing so bad before. You had a dog at least, and I have the motto of that I've always said I didn't want anything that can't feed or clean up behind itself, which includes men, women, children, and pets. So, I mean, that's at least a step further than me. And I don't think you mentioned how old the child is. As I said, sorry about the delay. But I said that I have a motto that I don't want anything that cannot feed and or clean up behind itself, which includes men, women, children, and pets. So you are at least a step you are a step beyond me with the dog, because I can't even remember to bring like a coffee mug out of the door with me in the morning. So I don't know what I would do with so much as a dog.
It is a lot of work having a dog, because
I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but having a child is triple, double the work. He was 15 when I adopted him. He's now 16. He will be 17 in September. So, yes, I adopted a teenager. And one of the amazing things about that is that I wanted a younger child, but
no diaper changing.
No diaper changing. I don't have to get up and trying to find a daycare, and I don't have to yell at somebody at the daycare for doing something that I think was incorrect or wrong with my child, because they don't want that life with me. And so I know what it's like now.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about anyone putting any cigarette butts out on them or anything.
Right,
you missed that whole stage.
I just jumped right into, like, you can cook some breakfast yourself and pour your cereal and, you know, put your milk in the bowl and put some cereal in there, and you're good to go until I take you out to lunch, or if I cook dinner or whatever that is. I would say that a lot of single men, period, whether they're gay or heterosexual, don't adopt teenagers. They are going for younger children, and they don't adopt singles sometimes. They will adopt as a couple or married, etc. I like to credit that when I adopted my son, that I know for a fact there were only 5 single men that adopted children in the year that I adopted my son, and all of them that adopted were not teenagers. I was the one of that single in that group that adopted a teenager. So that goes to show a lot of teenagers are not getting adopted. When people think teenagers, oh, you're going to get a mini adult. You're getting an adult, they're grown, they ain't going to listen to you. But in my case, it's different, you know. Typical teenager behaviors that I have, that I deal with. But as far as respect and being a good kid, I was very blessed and very lucky. So it's an amazing thing. It's amazing just to...
They still need homes anyway, so...
Right. So that's what I've been doing.
Very good. And so yeah, look. So I suppose this is the part that I turn over to you. Sorry, looks like I ate into your time a little bit, but yeah. I know you've got some stuff for us.
It is Okay, and I promise you I will make it quick and short, because my friends always say, you talk so long. And I'm like, you know what? When I speak, you should listen, because you're guaranteed to get your life at the end. So everybody...
You know, that needs to be the show motto. That you should be doing that, like as for the commercial, like, when I speak, you should listen. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. So let's jump into love and relationships. And I'm not going to be like the love and relationship counselor, because I'm not. I've made some mistakes myself when it comes to dating, and when I think that you're right but you're wrong, and you're not right, and maybe you were right, but I don't know about you. You got something going on there. I think that we don't perceive love as how our grandparents perceive love. You know, new generation versus older generation. What is love to you? How do you perceive it? And, you know, what is a relationship to you? Like, we have forgot what these two powerful things are. You know, we've forgotten what love is when it comes to loving someone else, and even when it comes to loving ourselves. And we've forgotten how to be valuable to our relationships. And it does not just mean about a relationship with your boyfriend or with your girlfriend. It's relationships with your parents, with your friends, with your family members. How do you value those relationships, and how do you keep them strong? So I believe that social media takes a huge part in how we have started to, you know, express love for each other, and how our love lives and our relationships are no longer private. Do you remember the time when our relationships were private? We weren't sharing pictures on social media. We didn't have that outlet. We didn't have the opportunity to talk about, well, my husband did, or my boyfriend did, or my girlfriend said. There was no outlet to do that. I mean, we can get on the phone and call someone and talk about it, or we can send a text message that took like 10 minutes to get sent over. But now social media is there, and we have that capability. And, you know, I really knew there was a problem.
You know, if you don't take pictures together, it's not real, that type of thing. That's where we are nowadays.
Right. It's like,
so-and-so, they haven't been seen together in about 20 days. They must be going through something. I mean, even in our, like, professional life, I can't think of the reporter's name, but she interviewed someone, I think it was on Air Force One, and they said that, oh, you should have tweeted the whole thing. But because she didn't, obviously some things happened that we didn't know about. So there's obviously something disingenuous going on. So like now folks are feeling pressured that everything must be covered and that pictures have to be taken together at all times, as though we are now our own paparazzi.
Right. And you don't have to do that. You don't always have to be like, oh, let me take a selfie. Come on, babe, get in the selfie with me. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do that. But social media, our little mini fan base, expects that. And like you said, you're so right. If we're not posting pictures, if we're not talking about, oh, I'm so in love, and look at my ring, and look at this and look at that, there's a problem. There's something going on. And guess what happens when these individuals are speculating that, or they think that this is the cause of your relationship getting ready to take a complete, you know, downward spiral? They start sending you those little private messages. Hey, what's up? I've been watching you. How you doing? You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
You know, and you may not be having
people
no
notice.
problem. Yeah, like they're noticing you now. It's like, hey, how you doing? And then that is why social media, my head and my world, I feel is taking a huge control in our love and relationships. For example, love used to be the strong point, the connection, and bringing two people together and just building a strong foundation. Like, you know, when you say I love you, it means something, and it just give you shivers, and you're just like, oh, you know, like, say it again. Now when someone says, I love you, because we've been burned so much, we've been broken so many times, and someone says, I love you, and we're like, really? You really love me? Like, really? You know what I mean? So we don't believe it anymore. And we have to find our ways back to loving each other. We have to find our ways back to value in relationships and just being the best us. And, and I have something for everyone. It says, do what you need to do for you. Everyone has personal needs, whether it's going to the gym after work or taking some alone time on a Saturday morning. If someone asks you to do something and your instinct is to honor your own need, do that. I'm not saying you can't make sacrifices sometimes, but it's important to make a habit of taking care of yourself. Someone once told me people are like glasses of water. If we do what we have to do to keep our glass full, we'll need to take it from someone else, which leaves them half full. Fill your own glass so you can feel whole and complete in your relationship. And that is so important. If you are keeping a glass full of water and you're not having to dip from out of Joan and Charlie and Tashonda and Tisha Taquanda's glass, you're okay. And you're going to end up being that good person that you need to be in your relationships, and you're going to be able to love. And don't let what some jackass did to you in a previous or a third or fourth or fifth relationship from 5 years ago affect what could be a part of what you really need in your life now. And that's what I have to say on love and relationships. I have spoken about it. You should listen to your life.
Well, thank you for speaking on that and allowing me to evade the topic.
Right. No problem at all. No problem at all. So this is a really hard topic to talk about.
I don't know what I feel about relationships, or I don't know what to talk about with it, if I have anything to talk about with it, or if I want to either. So you're good.
Look, I'm currently dating, and it's been a while before I started dating, and I know then when years ago when I was younger, I didn't get a text from you at this time, and I texted you at that time, and why you ain't reply back? What were you doing? I know you had to go to the bathroom. All that craziness is just out the door. Now I'm just, good morning. If I don't hear from you for a few hours, I'm not, least bit of concern. Maybe you're working or you're still sleeping or doing something. But, it's hard to date, and it's also hard to be in a relationship once you're in one. And when you are single for so long, you become selfish of your time with someone else. You're like, I don't really need you. Like, I don't need love. I love me. You know what I mean? My family loves me. But then at the end of the day, we still kind of want somebody. We still want someone to be in our corner. We want to come home and be like, babe, my day was hell, but I got you. You know what I mean? We want someone to argue with. I'm a competitive person. I like to sometimes kind of challenge your mind and see how far I can go with it. And I need somebody to be able to challenge me back and be like, you know what you did was messed up, but I'm going to tell you about it regardless if you like it or not.
I am dangerously competitive. And folks should be careful. Be careful what you ask for. I mean, right. I think that in my life, professional that is, I do all short of selling my mother under the bus. And the only reason why I probably don't do that is because we're Facebook friends.
Right.
She come back and get me. Yeah.
My own friends. When it
I'm
comes
horribly competitive.
And I'm not perfect by any means, and I don't want any of the listeners that are listening right now to think that I am perfect. Anthony Smith is not perfect. There, I've admitted it. I sometimes will shade my own.
Well, no, I'm not. I've been told such.
I will shade.
A guy was talking to me and told me he shaded me. I don't know what I did to deserve it. He called me a quote unquote witch with no power.
Oh. Wow.
Talk about not being perfect.
I've been called worse. I've been called evil.
No issues in shading me.
I've been called big bad bitch and all that stuff, but, whatever. My favorite thing to say back is, you're jealous because you can't have this fresh. Now sit your ass down. So, but on this relationship part, then I'll definitely close it and get to the next topic that I want to talk about. I have some friends that, they'll call me and they're like, oh, I need to talk, pick up the phone. Like, so much is going on. And I pick the phone up and I start talking to them. And, I'm listening to their issues and I give my advice. And I'm like, okay, Dr. Anthony has spoken now. It's time to go. I'll collect my coins at the end. And then when I want to talk about just, a day that my son's gotten on my nerves and I'm ready to rip his head off, I call one of my friends. You have been forwarded to the voicemail. I'm like, oh, really? So it's like, is that how we value this friendship? You want me to pick up, and if I don't pick up the phone, I'm getting threatening text messages, and you're bamming and kicking my door down. But when I need to speak about something, I'm forwarded to the voicemail. So my birthday just passed on the 16th of March. And I told my best friend, I said, I am going to
Happy
be
belated.
petty Pisces. Thank you. I said, I want to be petty Pisces for the month of March, and I am actually going to do what all my friends do to me. So it's gonna be fun. He was like, don't do that. I was like, I'm gonna do it. So the one friend who was like the king of forwarding to the voicemail would call, and I was like, forward it to the voicemail. I just kept doing it. And then so finally I pick up, and they're like, you just kept forwarding me to the voicemail. What the hell is going on? I was in my car on my way to your house. I don't like that. I was like, oh, it's funny, but you do it to me. Is it okay to do it to me, but when I do it to you, it's not? I was like, that's very contradicting, isn't it? And they're like, oh, you ain't got nothing to say. Let's change the subject. I don't want to talk about nothing negative. You know what I mean?
At least I have the decency of, like, letting it ring all the way out. Talking about hitting forward to voicemail. That's rude. At least I'm politely rude. If that's a term that I can make up here.
Now, I'm going to say this, and this is going to close this relationship out. For all you iPhone users who don't know how to use your iPhone, turn your damn red text off, because people can see when you read them text messages. And if you don't know how to take it, you need to go ahead and make an appointment and learn how to take the damn red text off. Because if I send you a text message and you read it and I sent it at 11 a.m. and it's 1 p.m. and you still ain't replied, but your ass is posted on Facebook, that is a problem.
All right. Speak. All right, so go ahead. What was the other topic you said you had?
A president, then who the hell is your president then? Who is your president, regardless if you like him, like Trump, or you don't like Trump?
You just chopped out for a second.
Oh.
You literally just came in since, about this topic. You just came in when you said about who the hell is your president.
Oh. Well, all right, so I was stating that this topic is, we're basically talking about who is your president or who's my president. I see that all the time. People are constantly posting hashtag that's not my president or hashtag dump this Trump. I see this too much, and it's kind of just, I'm getting bored of it already. Stop it. Stop the foolishness. We know that, Hillary Clinton did not win, and she's not our president, of course, and she can't do anything to stop anything that we're unhappy with. There is some things that I am kind of like, side-eye about with this whole political thing that's going on right now. I have my opinions about President Trump, and I have my opinions about how I think the White House is a little bit circus right now. It's a little bit clown show. And I'm hoping to see it clean up. And, as I always state, we have to kind of give that little bit of benefit of doubt. We need to see where it's going to go. We're only in the first few months. And, of course it's messy right now. But what new elected president isn't in a bunch of mess in their first few months of being in the White House? I'm not saying that I'm a supporter, and I'm not saying that I agree with everything that's going on. But I want to know, who's your president? Please feel free to share with us who's your president, because last time I checked, it was Donald Trump, and y'all keep saying it's not my president, so who is? I would like to know. I want to sit down and have lunch with this person. I don't know, like the politics thing is just so much. I feel like it's a comedy show right now. I think in the first...
we have really gone in an insane direction, in the last, X amount of time. There's been a lot of anger in the country, and so that's what's driven a lot of this. But look, you said that you wanted to know who's your president, for those who keep shouting that they're not. Well, it's coming from the top. I think just this week, the head of the Democrat Party, the newly elected chair, Tom Perez, who is Obama's labor secretary, just did a shouting, screaming speech about how he said, and Donald Trump was not elected president, or not elected fairly. I have to be careful of those words. One of the two, but he was saying that he was not the president, along with a whole list of other things that he was saying. And we were sitting saying, he wasn't? Really? You want to explain how that worked out?
Right.
But yeah, it comes from the top. The guy is the president. If you disagree, there's plenty of things that you can do. You can be involved in the political process for next time around. That's what happens when you lose. It kind of sucks being on the losing side. I know.
Right.
But hey, you have to work to build up to be on the next, for the next time around. It's easy to sit on the sidelines and cry, but doing something takes a hell of a lot more work.
We have to deal with it. We have to deal with by all means, I am my own self-person, and what I say is how I feel. Everyone has their own opinion, whether you love Trump or you don't. Dump the Trump and, the Cheetos wig and the toupee and all this fun stuff, wherever. I think it's hilarious. Do I like President Trump? No, I don't. As an individual person, I think that his mouth is too much out there, and he says more things than what he really needs to be saying. But that's just my personal opinion. Now, do I have to respect him for some things? Yeah, maybe not. Who cares, right? But at the end of the day,
there's levels of support. Just don't shoot a video. Just don't shoot a video pretending to shoot him. Right. I know a model here that I wrote about he had to lock his Instagram account, turn the comments off and remove pictures because he was taking photos with a dead, with a bloodied Trump head, and had F Trump written across his chest. And after people were threatening the hell out of him, he had to redo his whole account. Just don't do that. There's levels to the disrespect.
Right.
Let's keep it halfway reasonable.
Now, here's what I would say on this one, and this was a very short topic that I wanted to discuss on. I think that the Electoral College, that I believe should definitely be looked into, because when we really think about who would have won versus votes versus electoral, Hillary Clinton actually would have been president. It would have been our first woman president ever in the history of the U.S. However, because it's not the first woman president in the world. There's other countries who've had woman presidents, but we would have been the first. Electoral College kind of stepped in and said, but it's going to be this one. So I do think that that's probably in the next 4 years when it's time to do this all over again. I honestly hope that is looked into, and maybe, they change it or swift it or don't use it at all. So that's my opinion on that. I don't know how others feel about it. I've heard talk about it. I've heard people demanding that it's done away with, and, Change.org was sending these emails left and right.
Well, here's the thing. Why over the last 15 years has no one, or 16, whatever, has no one done anything about it? Like, this was, we went through this back in 2000, all this time, and no one made an effort to do anything about it. They don't want to do anything about it. That's like, it's something nice to talk about. And I'll say that as far as the reason why it exists, it was made so that the votes would be evenly split across the country, because if there were no electoral college, the only places they campaign in would likely be New York, California, and Texas. That's why a lot of the parts of the country that Trump won is considered flyover country, because politicians never go there to see about, or care or have any concern about what their issues are. That was what he won, flyover country. And another reason why it's not going to happen, it would take Congress, both sides of Congress, and flyover countries, largely Republican, and if they got rid of the Electoral College, that would be immediate wins for Democrats, because all those areas, the New York, well, not Texas, New York and California, they're largely Democrat areas, so that's never going to be agreed on. I feel like, just in being a realist about the situation. And lastly, in running up to the election, I watch the news all the time because I'm a journalist, and so I remember every single day it was Hillary Clinton's her journey to 270, having 270 electoral votes. Every day she would talk about how she was going to get to 270, and everyone said every day how impossible it was for Donald Trump to get 270. It was never the journey to win the popular vote. It was always a journey towards 270, because those are the rules. You can't go by the rules and advocate and campaign on said rules and then lose on the rules and then say that it's not fair. You were bragging about how you could do this, and it was an easy electoral win. And then you lose the electoral college, and then you want to cry foul. So in this particular instance, especially considering how the news was, I'll say no. No, I'm not going to accept you complaining about them because you said it was going to be an easy win. And I had to sit and watch you talk about this every single day, Madam Pantsuit. So, look, you lost. Deal with it.
Let them deal with it. Let's enjoy this clown show. Let's pop some popcorn, have a few drinks, and get drunk on the weekend, and just enjoy life as it is and go on about our business. Look,
can I say before we go regarding the clown? So look, like, people knew when they elected Trump that he wasn't a standard politician, that he was not surrounded by political people, and that he was a businessman. So that's what he was elected on. And part of what a lot of people don't get is that the issues that he's had in kind of getting certain things started in the first few months, even though he won't get credit for what he has done, his supporters knew what they were getting. And they knew that there would be some hiccups. I mean, who would vote in a businessman and then get surprised, or someone who's never been elected in office and get surprised that they have some issues in adjusting to being an elected official?
Right.
So it's, by default, it's going to be a little bit of something, over in the very beginning. And I just hope that little bit of something kind of stops. I'm a PR person, and I just wish that, like, they have messaging issues. They have huge messaging issues, that some words and all, and their inability to keep a narrative every day just drives me nuts. It's not even so much what they stand for. It's just the fact that you can't stand up in front of the country and explain what's going on and keep the press on track. But that's something for another show. Rant over.
Right.
I'm done.
And this is the best one. This is what I close it out with here. The do's and don'ts for the summer. Man, everywhere that are listening right now. And I share this experience with you. Black is beautiful. Yes, it is. Anything black, or whether it's tank top, short sleeves, long sleeves, black jeans, shoes, hoodie, it's all beautiful. But you have to wear it on occasion. Don't sit outside with your friends for lunch or brunch and wear all black. The sun's going to beam down on you, and you are going to be baked. And it's not going to look cute, especially if you have foundation on. It's going to start dripping down your face, and you're going to look a hot mess. Let's wear black when we are inside. Black is elegant inside with some nice dim lights and a good atmosphere at nighttime when the sun's not out beaming down on you. So if you're going to wear black this summer, or you're going to do splashes of black, or you're going to do all black with different color accessories and different color shoes, wear that at nighttime when you're out in a lounge where it's going to have a different, atmosphere, a different feel, and of course you're going to get all eyes on you because you're wearing all black, and do it well. And accompany your all black with some red high tops, or you can do like the leopard print high tops. There's a lot of different selections of shoes, and you can actually go on Tony'sCloset.com Instagram page, and you'll be able to look at some of my suggestions for all black and some colors that you can kind of mix it with during the summertime. I don't know what it is about summer, and everyone wants to wear all black, but a lot of people start coming out in a lot of different black attire during the summer for parties and lounge get-together and gatherings. But you're doing it during the day when it's 90 degrees outside, and you know you're hot. You know that you're hot and you're sweating, and sit your ass down and stop it. So shoes that I think that you should not wear in the summer, let's stay away from open-toed shoes if you haven't got those feet taken care of. It's not cute. It doesn't look good. Nobody wants to see that. So let's kind of keep it cute and keep yourself manicured, get your pedi and your medi. It's not too expensive to do. Set aside $40 to $45 and go to a nice salon and, let someone keep your nails and your feet and your hands looking good. Because in the summertime, we're out mingling. We're going to social events. We're doing rooftop parties. We're at the pool. And we want to be attractive. We want to look good, and we always want to feel good about ourselves. So make sure you're just staying together. High tops are in for the summer. I love these new Michael Kors high tops that I just purchased. It has like the beaded side to it. It's just one design. It's leather, all black. Of course, I love all black. I love black. It's my favorite color. But high tops are in. All red high tops, you can mix some color. There's some gold high tops that you can wear. Then they have the Army fatigue color that they're coming out with now. They are really bringing a lot of color to high tops and a lot of designs. Snakeskin. Again, I'll have some selections of high tops that I think that are in for the summer that you can wear. What you don't want to do is go in from different seasons wearing the same thing. So for those who are, budgeting now for their wardrobe change in the middle of seasons, let's make sure that we're not crossing seasons. We're not wearing what we wore in the summer, in the winter, and we're not wearing what we were trying to wear in the winter in the summer. It just don't look good. If you're walking down the street with a big old fur coat on, looking kind of crazy, go back in the house and try it again. Accessories. For accessories, I promise you I'm almost done with this. But for accessories, make sure that you're not – I don't like accessories that have a lot of things hanging from it, like the wrist bracelets. Try not to have a bunch of dingling things on it. It doesn't look cute. It's not a style anymore. And a lot of people are more into bracelets that has tiger's eye.
Mariah Carey's 2002 charm bracelet is out.
Yeah, like we want to stay away from the charms, and now I'm seeing little hourglasses hanging from the bracelets and stuff. Like, man, we just don't need to do that. We need to stick with something that really stands out, like that really looks good, and it doesn't look like you just have some weird thing that you threw together yourself or you made yourself. So, again, you can go on Tony's Closet.
Yeah, something like, sounds like you're saying not to do what, I mean, it just sounds like those 90s girl notebooks, you know, where they used to have the purple folders with the unicorns. One of those bracelets that would go along with that for free.
Right. Like
a little free token accessory.
We're picking up accessories in all the wrong places. Look, and I'm not going to bash any brand on the show, but there is a particular brand that sells man's accessories, and I think every man that is listening can kind of, you know, agree with me. They don't last long. You buy them today, you spend your 20, I think they go for 24 to 25, $20 to $25, and within 2 weeks, the color, the design, everything is gone. And I think that when you are buying accessories, spend the money on quality accessories, something that will last for a very long time and it will look good. And I know a lot of people now want to have these ruby charms. It's like the necklace with the ruby diamond or whatever. Don't buy it fake. It does not look good. If you can't afford to buy the real one, don't get the fake one. It just does not look approachable. You can tell a fake from a mile away. And if it's blinging all up in the light, you know, good cut glass, but it doesn't look good after a while. So let's stay away from that. You can check all of my recommendations for what you should wear during the summer, and not just during the summer, for any other season that we are going to go through this year. Go on Instagram, tonyscloset.com. That's TONYS closet,
nice.
.com, and check it out. And that is all I have.
Wonderful. Well, this was fun. Finally got to reconnect after X number of years, you know. It sounds like I caught you on your second life. You said you had 9. I don't want you to go disappearing for, you know, lives 3 to 6 over the next couple months. I'm going to try and keep you around. As for where you can catch the show, I think we haven't completely decided yet where we're going to be. I know it'll be on my site, popblitz.com. It should be, or I expect it to be on yours as well.
It will be.
Urban Uncut magazine.
It'll definitely be on Urban Uncut magazine.
And, I'm sorry.
It'll be on my fan page.
Sorry, the delay caught me again. All right, very good. Yes, likewise. I can be found on Twitter at Vonnie Media Mogul, Facebook JaVonni Brustow, popblitz.com. And before closing out, Anthony, do you want to share your social media pages?
Yes, you can actually find me on Instagram, Anthony Smith ENT, also Tony's Closet Instagram page is tonyscloset.com and dot spelled out, D-O-T, urbanuncutmagazine.com, and my accessories website, www.tonyscloset.com, and my Facebook is Tony Tone, that's T-O-N-Y-T-O-N-E.
All right, very good. So again, this is the first episode of The Cut, and we'll look forward to number 2. Thanks.